Yo, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be ranking all the fighters from a K-drama called the Uncanny Counter. I made a video like this a while ago, but that was me ranking the fighters in Season 2. In this video I'm going to be ranking Season 1, which seems weird I know, but I was busy at the time of making the Season 2 video, so I decided to do Season 2 first since it's a lot shorter, and in my opinion has much clearer scaling, but yeah, anyways, let's get into it. So the first tier would be the I don't know tier, and if you watched my Season 2 video, you'd know what I mean by this, but I'll just sum it up for anyone who doesn't know. The people in this tier don't have any scaling to anyone else in the verse besides each other. However, I thought it would be a missed opportunity to just put them in a no scaling tier, as I was able to come up with some chain scaling between the people in this tier, but it's just kinda hard to compare them to the other fighters in the verse. This tier consists of the episode 1 fighters such as Hana, Motak, Choljung, and my favorite character Ji Chongshin. At the bottom of this tier we have Do-hana in episode 1. She didn't do too much, she was able to land a few hits on Ji Chongshin here and there when her and Motak were tag teaming him, but when she fought Chongshin by herself she just got slammed. Base Choljung would be above her. When the territory disappeared he just got cooked by Ji Chongshin. However, he was able to at least dodge a few attacks before getting dropped, which Hana wasn't able to do in their 1v1, so for that reason he would scale above her. And yes, while Hana did technically land a hit on Ji Chongshin, this was when Chongshin was playing around with her and testing her, which is proven by how he said not bad after she hit him.
제법인데.
And when he did get more serious, she couldn't land a single hit on him, proving the only reason she could land a hit in the first place is because Ji Chongshin was holding back. So for that reason, Base Choljung would be above Hana in episode 1. Motak would be above these two, as when he fought Ji Chongshin, he was able to pick him up and throw him onto a car, and he was able to tank many more hits, whereas Hana and Choljung took a lot more damage. And above would be Jang Choljung in episode 1, but with the territory this time. He was able to land 4 hits on Ji Chongshin, and even thought he could end up defeating him. And at the top of this tier we have episode 1 Ji Chongshin. He was able to destroy Hana, and even when Motak came to help, he still got the upper hand against both of them. And he fought on par with Choljung even when he had the territory. He landed the same amount of hits on Choljung as Choljung did on him, so they are still relative. However, I believe Ji Chongshin would be above, as although Choljung landed the same amount of hits on Ji Chongshin as Ji Chongshin did to him, one of these attacks by Choljung was actually after an off-guard attack, so for that reason, Ji Chongshin is at the top of this tier. In F tier we have some of the bullies at Somun's high school. At the bottom we have the two goons of the mayor's son, Yi Chonjung and Jong Gun-young. These two are equally useless as they got negged by Somun. Big Jongyu, aka the fat guy from Duna.
뉴비?
아, 안녕하세요. 저는
심리학과 4학년 태기 윤태기 소윤태기야.
네, 저는 토목공학과 2학년 이원준입니다.
어려울 거 하나도 없어. 여기는 그냥 후리하게 살면 돼. 후리하게 자유롭게. 오케이?
네.
웰컴.
아유.
와봐. 누가 끼어들면 일 안 해?
아닙니다. 합니다, 선배님.
사람은 일을 해야 먹고 산다. 응?
Would be above them both though, since he was able to tank several hits from Moon and keep getting up, whereas the two goons got dropped after a few attacks. Shin Hyoku would be above though, as he was able to land a hit on Somun, which the others were not able to do. Though then again, when Moon asked who was the strongest, everyone looked at Jongyu, but to be honest this is just irrelevant since Jongyu couldn't land a hit on Moon, whereas Hyoku could, which debunks the statement. And something else that proves the statement is irrelevant would be the fact that this really fat guy, I'm not sure what his name is, seemed to make Moon struggle the most out of all the bullies, as he was able to strangle him and slam him into glass. He did better than Jongyu despite the goons saying Jongyu was the strongest, so for that reason, the fat guy would be at the top of this tier. And in E tier we have Oh Jonggu at the bottom. He's able to dodge a few hits from a level 2 evil spirit, but he got crushed in the end. He claims to have been a great counter, but this is just straight up not true, since we see him literally lose to a level 2 spirit without even being able to land a single hit of his own. His justification for this loss was jet lag, but Mortak even said that he wouldn't have been jet lagged since he flew from Singapore, which is only an hour time difference from South Korea. He was also pretty much useless against the mayor despite having many opportunities to catch him off guard, and he even stated that Jang Mul said Dongpal would die early due to having Jonggu as his counter.
야, 동발이한테 나 미안해서 어떡하냐. 정말 영감이 나 때문에 동발이 죄명에 못 산댔는데.
So for that reason, he's very low on this list, since he's all bark and no bite, unfortunately. He's basically like a K-drama version of Jay from the In-Betweeners.
One bent over the table here. There was one up here who I was fingering, and I was just toe fucking the one on the floor.
Base Sormoon in episode 3 would be above Jonggu, as both of them fought a level 2 evil spirit. Jonggu's being the woman in episode 15, and Sormoon's being Mr. Han. Against their level 2 enemies, Moon did a good amount better than Jonggu did, as Jonggu couldn't even land a hit. This unnamed evil spirit from episode 15 would scale above Jonggu, since she beat him, and she would also scale above Moon due to the fact that she is a level 2 evil spirit, but base Moon lost to another level 2 evil spirit, meaning she can likely beat him as well, as she is also level 2. Mr. Han would scale above her though, and the reason why is because when Moon spotted the evil spirit that Jonggu faced, he was able to instantly detect that she was a level 2. Whereas with Mr. Han, the counters weren't really sure whether he was a level 2 or a level 3.
무거운 놈이에요. 최소 3명 이상 먹었을 거예요.
몇 단계?
2단계면 좋겠지만 3단계일 수도 있어.
So for that reason, it can be assumed he scales above the woman who beat Jonggu, since they weren't sure if he was a level 3, whereas she was instantly just written off as a level 2 evil spirit. But Moon in episode 3 with the territory would be the king of this tier, as he was able to defeat Mr. Han and summon him to Yoon. Now in D tier, we have some of the episode 11 fighters, with Choi Young-il being at the bottom. If you don't know who this guy is, he's the guy who killed his wife because she cheated on him. Kinda crazy, not gonna lie, he should have just moved on, but oh well.
내 마누라랑 짝짝꿍 재미 볼 때는 언제고 이제 와서 네 혼자 살고 싶냐? 나오라고 이 새끼야!
He was stated by Hana to be a level 2 evil spirit when she saw him with Jiangsu.
아까 제가 본 놈들은 둘 다 2단계였어요.
This guy's pretty trash and he wasn't able to do much. He just got completely deleted by Mrs. Chu despite using a weapon. While Mrs. Chu was able to pack Choi Young-il, this big evil spirit, the unnamed guy, completely just deleted her, which was just painful to watch. So for that reason, he would be above her. This evil spirit, the guy who killed his brother, although he looked like a beast, didn't really have much scaling, since something we need to take into account is that nobody else really scaled to Mrs. Chu at this point, and we know that after the fight in episode 11, Jiangsu stated to the big evil spirit and Choi Young-il that Ji Chongshin didn't want them on the team anymore. However, Ji Chongshin still decided to keep Jiangsu on the team, so for that reason it can be assumed that Jiangsu scales above the big evil spirit, seeing as Ji Chongshin chose Jiangsu over him, and there's nothing to necessarily contradict that assumption since, like I said, he only scales to Mrs. Chu, who at this point has very vague scaling. This other unnamed evil spirit, the one who Ji Chongshin killed, would also scale above the big evil spirit due to the fact that he was shown to be relative to Jiangsu based on their performance against Mortak. And like I said, Ji Chongshin chose Jiangsu over the big evil spirit, so for that reason, this evil spirit would scale above. Jiangsu, the guy whose whole personality is being hungry for some reason,
내 녹음기 어쨌어?
줄게. 준다고.
배고파요.
would be at the top of this tier though, since in episode 11 he was shown to be relative to the evil spirit that Ji Chongshin killed, and later on he actually gets stronger and devours more souls, so he would just upscale. But fuck Jiangsu though, he's a creep. Ji Chongshin is the go for strangling his ass.
저 나갈래요.
안 돼. 아저씨도 배가 고프단 말이야. 애들은 건들지 말랬지.
그게 아니
And in C tier we have episode 7 Soulmoon at the bottom. The reason he would scale above the likes of Jiangsu and the people in the last tier is because they were all level 2 evil spirits, and Soulmoon in episode 7 was able to fight on par with Ji Chongshin, who is stated to be a level 3 evil spirit. Moon was able to hold his own, but Hana stated that if Moon continued to fight Ji Chongshin, that he would have died. So for that reason, Chongshin would scale above.
다시 들어가요 누나. 잡았어요. 나 잡을 수 있어요.
3단계야. 너 그놈이랑 그대로 붙었으면 죽었어.
And above those two we have Dohana and Baek Hyungi in episode 5. I know it's a little weird to see Baek Hyungi, aka the crazy bitch, what I like to call her, above Ji Chongshin.
정신.
어디야? 거기 어디야 이 새끼야? 아저씨. 안녕. 이 백화점 때 그 미친 애 아니야 이거?
But we need to take into account that she was able to pack Soulmoon in episode 5 with more ease than Ji Chongshin did to Moon in episode 7. And we don't see Moon training in between episode 5 and episode 7, meaning he should have been around the same level as his episode 5 self when he fought Chongshin. Doana was able to fight on par with Baek Hyungi, but Hyungi was able to get the upper hand on her in the end. Gamotak in episode 5 however would be the king of this tier since he one-shotted Baek Hyungi when they fought, and that's still one of the funniest scenes in my opinion, just watch.
나 이렇게 현장 뜨는 거 제일 별론데 그런 거 알아요? 화장실 갔는데 뒷일 보다가 중간에 딱 끊기면 어떤 기분이에요? 어떤 기분? 애매하죠. 애매해. 수고들 하세요.
And if you're wondering why I called the crazy bitch, just watch this clip.
다들 괜찮아? 하여간에 요즘 젊은 것들 나이게 빠져가지고
And if you're wondering why I call it the crazy bitch, just watch this clip.
네. 죽을 것 같아? 주스에 넣은 땅콩 때문에?
저런 새끼는 죽어뒀어.
안 그래?
아, 그치? 죽어도 쌀린다. 언제부터 내 안에 있었어?
네가 전 남편 죽일 때부터.
이제 나가지 마.
And in B tier we have Soulmoon in episode 9 at the bottom. He was able to press Ji Chongshin but ultimately lost when he didn't have the territory. However, when Moon did have the territory, he was able to outperform Ji Chongshin. Motak in episode 9 however would be at the top of this tier, as when he intervened, he was able to throw Ji Chongshin on the ground with ease, forcing him to run away, whereas Moon, even when he did have the territory, was still shown to be, for the most part, relative to him. And at the bottom of this tier we have Dohana in episode 11. The reason she would be above episode 9 Motak is because in episode 11, her and Motak were shown to be for the most part relative when they fought the evil spirits, and Motak in episode 11 should be above his episode 9 self, so she would just upscale episode 9 Motak. Hana showed some impressive feats in episode 11, like being able to get Ji Chongshin in the armbar before the crazy bitch intervened. However, it's likely that Chongshin would have been able to get out the armbar eventually, and while this seems like it's unprovable, we know that Hana was straight up defeated by the crazy bitch in this episode, and an episode later we see the crazy bitch and Ji Chongshin have a little scrap, in which Ji Chongshin is able to get the upper hand and pin her down, making her no longer want to fight back. The reason I bring this up is because if Hana truly would have been able to break Ji Chongshin's arm then and there, if she wasn't interrupted, it wouldn't make sense for her to lose to the crazy bitch in that same episode, when we see Ji Chongshin beat the crazy bitch not too long after. And it's not like Ji Chongshin got any stronger after his fight with Hana and the other counters, since we don't see him devour any souls after the fight. If anything, you could even make an argument that the crazy bitch got stronger after that fight, since she straight up murdered this chick over an outfit, and that was right before she fought Ji Chongshin. But that argument is kind of a hit or miss though, because we didn't really see her devour that girl's soul. But either way, the point is Ji Chongshin beat the same fighter who beat Hana. So it wouldn't make sense for Hana to have been capable of submitting him. So for that reason, as much as I was cheering her on when she got Ji Chongshin in that armbar, she would not be better than him, unfortunately. Hana was able to fight on par with the crazy bitch, but was eventually defeated in the end. So for that reason, in episode 11, the crazy bitch scales above Hana. Next we have the crazy bitch, but in episode 14. She's basically the same kind of fighter as her episode 11 self, but it's unquantifiable how much stronger she is than her episode 11 self. Above her though would be Doana in episode 14. Hana was able to finally defeat the crazy bitch and earn the win that she truly deserved. Above her would be Motak in episode 11. The reason Motak even in just episode 11 is above these fighters, despite them being episode 14 cells, is due to his performance against Ji Chongshin in episode 11. Motak was able to land 7 hits on Ji Chongshin and showed strong enough AP to actually hurt him. And the reason I bring this up is because, like I explained, we see the crazy bitch and Ji Chongshin fight the next episode after this, and we see that the crazy bitch landed only 2 hits on Ji Chongshin, and Ji Chongshin was able to overpower her with a lot more ease than he did to Motak. So for that reason, Motak would scale above the crazy bitch in episode 11. And he would scale above her episode 14 self, since like I said, she's basically the same as her episode 11 self. And above Hana also, since Hana was just barely above the crazy bitch in episode 11, and I just explained why Ji Chongshin scales above her. The king of this tier, however, would be Ji Chongshin in episode 11, since he was able to beat Motak to a pulp, and I just explained why Motak scales above everyone else in this tier. At the bottom of this tier we would have episode 14 and 15 Somun. The reason he is above episode 11 Ji Chongshin is because in episode 14 he had a fight with the crazy bitch, and unlike Ji Chongshin, the crazy bitch wasn't able to land a single hit on Moon, whereas she landed 2 on Ji Chongshin and kinda pressed him a little. On top of that, this wasn't even peak Somun, since he was later on in the episode shown to get some kind of an amp against the mayor. So for that reason, episode 14 and 15 Somun would scale above episode 11 Ji Chongshin. Episode 14 and 15 Motak would scale above, however, since he did slightly better against the mayor than Somun did. When they were tag teaming him, both Somun and Motak landed 4 hits on the mayor. However, Motak, on top of landing 4 hits, was able to also slam the mayor to the ground. So for that reason he would scale above Somun. And above these two would be Hana in the finale. The reason she is above is because she was shown to be relative to Somun and Motak in the finale, so she should just upscale episode 14 to 15 Somun and Motak. Doana, Gamotak, base Somun were all shown to perform relatively against Mayor Shin Myung-wi. However, Hana was shown to do the worst out of these three, as she landed the least amount of hits on the mayor. Moon would be next up as he landed 1 more hit than Hana on the mayor, but Motak would be the king of this tier as he landed the most hits on the mayor and even made his lip bleed. And now in SS tier we have Ji Chongshin at the bottom. This is the version of Ji Chongshin where he becomes a complete evil spirit, which is where the evil spirit and the host become one. So basically Ji Chongshin in episode 13. He would scale above everyone in the previous tier since he should be relative to the mayor, as he was the one who was initially giving him his strength since he entered his body.
내가 널 살렸지. 네가 날 기억 안 나? 살려달라고 날 원하고 불렀잖아.
And we know the mayor completely destroyed the top 3 of the previous tier while fighting them at the same time.
고작 따위 힘으로 나를 아저씨! 이쪽 다리 맞나?
신명이 절대학을 어쩌고 소문이 너 혼자 끝내야 될지도 모른다고.
If this isn't enough proof, we know that Jichongshin is a level 4 evil spirit, and we know that the mayor is also a level 4 spirit, and we know that the mayor was shown to be straight up better than all the counters at the same time, like I said, so Jichongshin should also be able to, considering he's the same level as the mayor. However, Mayor Shin Myung-yi would scale above, since although Jichongshin initially gave the mayor his strength, the mayor went on to devour many souls, and Somun himself even stated in the finale that the mayor had gotten stronger.
그새 더 강해졌어.
So for that reason, he would scale above peak Jichongshin, as he later on surpasses the version of Jichongshin that initially gave him his strength, this being the same version of Jichongshin when he was still alive. So basically, he would stay to have gotten better than the last version of Jichongshin that we see. Above the mayor though, and at the top of this entire list, would be peak Somun in the finale. When Somun was able to reach his full potential, he just completely deleted the mayor, gaining praise from Mrs. Chu and Motak.
우리 에이스 씨.
우리 소문이 진짜 경이롭다.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if I sounded really bored. I mean, I always sound bored in my videos, but I sounded extra bored today because I'm kind of feeling a bit ill right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video regardless. Have a nice day.